Alright, hello everyone. Today we're going to be going over one of the new subclasses that we got our first full look at in the latest Destiny stream about the Taken King. This is the Hammer of Soul Super, the Titan Super, Thor Simulator 2015 as everyone's calling it. And we actually got our first look at the full subclass build just this last Wednesday, I think it was. And so I'm going to go over it for you guys, say some pretty cool builds that I think could happen. And yeah, we're going to go from there. So without further ado, I'm going to let you watch the clip that goes over it, and then I'm going to, kind of freeze it where I think some important bits are. Here we go.
For maximum justice in combat.
I have taken the Master Race Sunbreaker Titan. I'm going to be rolling with a hand cannon, a sniper rifle, and the subclass. We'll walk through it. First tier, I'll just show you guys what it is and what I like the most. Fusion grenades from the Warlocks have made the return. I know.
Classic.
So many people love those. The new grenade, the thermite grenade, it throws a burning line of fire forward. That's what I'll be using. It's really fun to use. And the incendiary grenade. For the jumps, I'm sorry, Titans, no blink today. I'm still holding hope, but it's your usual jump with increased control, height, catapult. And then your super Hammer of Soul, which is Thor Simulator 2015. It's amazing.
Bring down the hammer.
You throw out a fiery hammer. You have different perks. This one allows you to throw more hammers because who doesn't like more hammers?
Simple decision.
More hammers.
Yeah,
hammers,
this
three
one,
hammers?
sort of like shoulder charge, but this time you make them explode in fire.
Yeah,
so,
you can do it a bunch of times. Super fun.
I will, however, be using this new mechanic called sunspots. And so every time I throw it, a sunspot will appear on the ground, and I'll show you how that works later. My melee, Sunstrike, burn enemies with a heavy solar melee strike. I'm going to be using Melting Point. This is, by the way, guys, start using this super good.
Yeah, your buddies will love you.
Use this on PvE and everything. Hit this with the boss, and it weakens them for everybody doing damage on for a little while. It's super good. Thermal Vent, you can also, when they explode, create sunspots. So if you want to go to that whole skill tree, you can do that. And Stroke the Forge. It's an interesting name. You can
Stoke the Forge.
Oh, Stroke. Okay, that makes a lot
It's
more
a little
sense.
different.
I was like, Stroke the Forge, really, budget?
Slightly different fantasy, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, your codex and whatnot. Next, your Hammer of Soul will seek your enemies. Really fun for PvP. Enemies felled by your hammer explode. Chaining fiery soul. But I will be using enemies felled by your fire grant you bonus agility and reload speed. So using Hammer of Soul, suddenly you got all these stacks. It's super fun.
Hastened by the flames.
And Codex. Next, when super energy is full, grenade and melee abilities recharge twice as fast. So it's sort of a trade-off. You can keep your super, but if you do, grenade and melees come back, so that's up to you. This one I really like for PvP. Killing somebody with fire regenerates your health. So every time you kill someone with a hammer, it regenerates your health. And then the whole mechanic that I was talking about with the sunspot. When standing in a sunspot, you gain an overshield, and your hammer will last longer. So I throw a hammer down on the ground, I stand in that, and rain fiery death upon everybody.
So you're totally building here for sunspots because you really love them here.
Yeah, it's really good for PvE too. You just hold down a spot. Even PvP like control, I can see it being really useful.
Alright guys, so first of all, if you guys aren't subscribed to Mr. Fruit on YouTube, he is the special guest in the middle there, featuring the Sunbreaker Titan. Please go subscribe to him. His channel will be linked down in the description below. He's hilarious. If most of you guys aren't subscribed to him already, which I assume you are, because he's grown super fast and he really does deserve it. So go over there and show him some love. But let's start off with our grenades here. The fusion grenade and the incendiary grenade are pretty familiar. We've got the fusion grenade from the Sunslinger Warlock and the incendiary from the Gunslinger Hunter. But the thermite grenade is our new grenade, and it literally, when you throw it, a burning line of fire goes forward across the ground. Like it like gets shot forward like it's some sort of cannon or something across the ground. Budgie seems to be really loving the grounded grenades in this DLC, so hopefully you guys are okay with those. For our jumps, nothing's really changed. It's got the classic jumps, increased height, increased control, and catapult. Nothing special there, but for the Hammer of Soul mods, we've got Forge Master, which is throw more hammers and hammers cause bigger explosions. Pretty straightforward, as they said in the video. I mean, this is probably going to be the favorite. It just allows to throw more hammers, and the hammers give more destruction. Then next we have Sun Charge, which is basically shoulder charge for the Hammer Soul Super, and like they said again, and it also chains fire to your enemies. So that could be good, but I still think Forge Master is going to be the favorite here. And then the last one is going to be Scorched Earth, which is putting sunspots on the ground, which you can do different things with later in the subclass. Once again, Forged Master is going to be the favorite here. Scorched Earth, from what I've heard, is a little bit underwhelming. It's not that good. So yeah. Next we have melee mods in Melting Point. Burn away your target's defenses while burning. Targets are weakened, both you and your allies. This is very, very good. We saw this played in the strike that was streamed, and basically what it does is if you melee your target, all your hits count as precision hits, so it does a crap ton more damage than usual. So I foresee this being the go-to for PvE at least, and PvP maybe not so much, but PvE for sure. Thermal Vent, Sunstrike releases a solar explosion on a hit. Kills create sunspot that damages your enemies inside. I think definitely the previous one is going to be the more favored one. I mean, explosion melees with a sunspot. Once again, sunspots were a little bit lackluster, I've been told, and you know, just AOE out of your melee isn't the best thing in the world. And the last one is going to be Stoke the Forge. I almost said Stroke the Forge. Reduces Sunstrike cooldown. Getting a killing blow with Sunstrike instantly recharges it. Usually it's getting a hit with your melee that recharges it. Like on the Striker class, if you hit someone, it has a chance to recharge it. So once again, you know, this could be the PvP one, but nothing else is going to really compare to Melting Point in PvE, but yeah, for sure, Stoke the Forge probably going to be your PvP go-to for the Sunbreaker Titan. For our additional hammer mods, we have Flame Seeker. Your hammer soul will alter its flight path to seek out your enemies. This is going to be probably your go-to PvP mod, in my opinion. This will be really good, just tracking hammers. It's like Nova Bomb tracking, so that's going to be really good, really good. Explosive Peer. Enemies felled by your hammer explode, chaining fire solar damage to others. This, in my opinion, is kind of almost tied with the last one for PvE purposes. And the last one is going to be Fleet Fire, which is enemies felled by your fire grant you bonus agility and reload speed, stacks up to 3 times. So this is a lot like the Hunter stacks of stats. It's going to be pretty nice to have. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be kind of tied with the Explosive Peer for PvE, and I don't know if this will be good in PvE or not. We'll have to see. In the final column, we have Simmering Flames. When your super energy is full, grenade and melee abilities recharge twice as fast. I could see this being the go-to PvP ability. Sounds very, very useful. You know, it's kind of a trade-off for keeping your super, and that could be very powerful. Then we have Cauterize. Enemies brought down by your fire regenerate your health. I don't know if this means killed by your fire or damaged by your fire. If it's damaged by your fire, then I could see this being OP in both PvP and PvE. But if it's just killed, then this will be a really good PvE perk. And Firekeeper. While standing in a sunspot, you gain an overshield, and your hammer soul lasts longer. So once again, you know, if you want to design around sunspots, this is going to be your go-to ability. Like, that's literally all you have for sunspots. I think there's one other talent for sunspots, but that's probably the best one, is gain an overshield and your hammer soul lasts longer while standing in your sunspots. So that could be pretty good. I'm not sure though. I'm thinking Cauterize, honestly, is going to be the better one. Enemies brought down by your fire regenerate your health. I don't know if that means all of your fire. That means your melee, your hammers, and your grenades. Or if it's just your hammers. But either way, I think it'll still be really good. It'll be essentially a Hungering Blade from the Arcblade talent, which is the choice PvE and PvP talent right there. So all these sound pretty decent. Obviously, if you spec for sunspots, you can do a lot of cool things for your team. But in my opinion, the sunspots are not going to be the go-to thing, because it kind of forces you to stay in 1 or 2 areas, and I think the new strikes are going to force us to move around a lot. So that'll be really fun, really cool to experiment with. But I don't know if I've said this before, but in my opinion, the Sunbreaker Titan actually looks the weakest out of all the new subclasses coming with the Taken King. I don't know though. We'll see. We'll see if this replaces Striker or Defender. You know, Striker in PvP or Defender in PvE as the go-to class. I think Defender is still going to be the god tier PvE class, and Striker and Sunbreaker are kind of going to be maybe tied for PvP, but obviously we'll have to see. We'll have to experiment with these talents when they come out. Obviously, this is all still subject to change, guys. This whole video is assuming that these talents are not going to change by the time the Taken King comes out, which they very well could. There's still a couple weeks to go, so Bungie could change up a talent under our noses and come into the game and find out that one of our favorite talents that we saw in this video was gone. So we'll see, but like I said, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in my next one. The next one will probably be about the Night Stalker Hunter, so be prepared for that. Alright guys, see ya.